All right, so for our next class at the John David Ebert School for the Study of Culture, Cosmology, and the Arts, we are going to do Understanding the Gospels and the Gnostics. And so what this will entail is a careful reading of the four Gospels, but also the major Gnostic Gospels as well. There are a few of them, such as Thunder, Perfect Mind, and the Hymn of the Pearl, that are absolutely essential for understanding the development of Gnosticism from out of all of this. And then I want to finish off the course by reading through Rudolf Steiner's fifth Gospel and look at the previous Gospels in the light of his views of them. And so this, by the way, this painting here is from the great Australian painter Arthur Boyd, who was who sort of imported modernist art styles into Australia in the 70s and 80s. And this is an interesting image because he's obviously referring to the cross, because it is traditionally represented that at the foot of the cross is the skull of Adam. And it implies that it's a tree that has grown up out of the skull of Adam, and it's only, Adam is the death principle, the Golgotha, the hill of the skull, and what flowers from out of that is the principle of eternal life. That's the fruit, his blood and his body, that we eat and drink, and we consume that in the communion meal. And so it seems to me that this painting is representing that archetype. And it is an archetype that you find all over the world. For example, in the Polynesian story of the girl and the eel, where she goes to bathe at her favorite lake and finds an eel there with her. And there are no snakes in Polynesia, so mythologically you substitute it for the nearest analog, which would be the eel. And then so they become lovers for a while, and then one time the eel says, why don't you chop off my head? And then she says, well, why would I want to do that? And he says, just trust me, chop off my head and then bury it over there. So she chops off his head, sacrifices him basically, and then buries the head. And then from out of that head grows the world's first coconut tree. And you can still see the face of the god if you look carefully in the coconuts. And so that's just a regional variant of this myth that life flowers from death. And so representations such as Roger van der Weyden's representation still retain that in the Netherlands in his art. One of my favorite representations of the crucifixion comes from Roger van der Weyden. So we're going to do this starting on Saturday, August 2nd at noon MST, and continue for 8 Saturdays in a row down to September 20th. And the enrollment to attend live in the class is $250. And if you just want a subscription, then it'll be $150, and I can send you the videos as we record them. And we record each classroom discussion, so don't worry if you miss a class. You can hit me up, and I'll send the video via Google Drive. And then so to enroll now, contact me at johndavidebert@gmail.com, and then I'll give you instructions on how to enroll, and we'll get it all set up. I think this will be a lot of fun, going back through the Gospels again and really scrutinizing them very carefully. Well, we won't just do it from the point of view of Rudolf Steiner. We'll also bring in Joseph Campbell and Carl Jung and possibly Mircea Eliade. We'll look at it from the Gospels from various different angles and points of view. And okay, and keep in mind, I'm doing astrology readings right now at a discount. Normally I charge $150 for a 1 hour reading on Zoom. I'm discounting them down to $100 for a temporary period. Astrology is very illuminating. Carl Jung knew that. Steiner missed the boat on it, unfortunately, but Jung knew how to do astrology, and it was very important to him. He talks about it in his book Synchronicity. And then I also do private tutoring, so keep that in mind. You would hit me up at the same email address if you had any interest in having me help you with a particularly difficult text. At some point here down the line, I'm moving into Ouspensky. We're reading Thomas Pynchon's novel Against the Day, which is possibly the best novel ever written by an American. Certainly one of the 5 best novels, period, ever written. Against the Day is a whopper. It makes Gravity's Rainbow look like a rough draft by comparison, just a warm-up exercise by comparison. And he mentions Ouspensky in it quite a bit and presupposes a lot of his cosmology. And so I started reading Ouspensky, and I find it very, very illuminating. There's lots of cool ideas in Ouspensky. So I'm working my way through his book, The Fourth Way, right now, where he lays out the basics of his and Gurdjieff's ideas. And I'm intending on doing a class on Ouspensky and Gurdjieff also. Maybe one on Ouspensky and then one on Gurdjieff. We'll see how it goes. Okay, then that's it. I'll see you in class.